think I'd like him because I thought his lines were totally over the top and cheesy. And then I played him, and I loved him because his lines were totally over the top and cheesy. So he won my heart, Draven. I can't play him well. I'm terrible at him, but Draven is amazing.
Well, we're into the picks and the pans then, and we can see if we see any Draven in this one. I don't think so, but who knows?
No, Aframu's gone.
He knows that all too well, I guess.
Yeah.
So the ban's coming out here. Twisted Fate for Moscow 5, taken away from Ambition. Rengar, Evelyn ban out of Azubu Blaze. What a surprise after that last game.
Yeah, you know, they're respecting the champions a lot. You're seeing TF and, you know, again, you know, the repeat bans coming in a lot of these cases. Diana, it looks like Alex does not play this champion. It's the exact same ban as last time, getting rid of Diana there and removing that option. So, you know, it's unfortunate to see, you know, these players who he either doesn't know the champion or he's just very respectful and says, you know what, it's an option that we don't need to deal with right now. It's unfortunate, right? It's limiting where they have to ban the same champions, even when they're first pick and they could pick those guys out. The Nunu getting banned out away from Ghosty Pepper, that's a respectful one as well. So a lot of adaptation, but of course it does give away Lee Sin. Good call, Joe.
Yeah, really, don't ban the Lee Sin, and Moscow 5 are going to take it. There's pretty much no question about that whatsoever with Moscow 5 in there. So, what are we expecting to see here from Azubu Blaze? Obviously, that last game not really working out in their favor. They actually insta-locked Olaf in that last matchup. That was their first choice. We can see there, by the way, I just want to mention the percentages you guys at home on the using the iOS app and also on IGN.com voting for the team that you want to win. We've been told that actually if you vote on the games going on the other stream and even across the other games as well, you increase your chances of winning the Origin PC. So there's a little bit of a secret to win that PC.
Go vote. I mean, it's a half month late in America, but vote.
Vote. So Corki is going to be locked in there, along with that Olaf that we did see in game number 1. Looks like Moscow 5 settling for a Sona at the moment.
So, and this makes a lot of sense. Ultimately, these are the two supports that I think Ghost Pepper is best known for and are his best supports. He's run Taric a lot this tournament. I don't think it's been all that successful for him, so pulling out the Sona I think is a really good move. It's just, I mean, that's his actually live account name on EU. It's Flash Ult Sona. That's actually the account he uses, so you know, it makes a lot of sense. It's just a good pick for him, and they've picked actually very safe so far. Lee Sin, the Sona Ezreal lane, there's nothing flashy coming out from this team yet.
Yeah, over on the other side, Azubu Blaze picking up their next 2 picks and doing it quickly. Oh.
Please actually be AP Master Yi. That would be awesome.
We've seen it already twice from Alex Ich in this tournament so far. Would he have the balls to do it against Azubu Blaze? There is a Wukong as well.
If he thinks that's good, and I actually like this team a lot because it's a crazy, like, super strong area of effect team. Every single member on that team's R button will hit multiple members on the enemy roster. You've got the knock up there, the crescendo. You've got Lee Sin can get knock up as well if he aims it correctly. Ezreal's in there for true shot barrage. And what better to set up the team for like ridiculous success or set up Master Yi for ridiculous success than everyone on the enemy team being at half health. You know, with Shen in there works great as well. They don't know for sure what he's up to fight against. He has locked in Master Yi. That is right, AP Yi, certainly not a troll pick, running it against Azubu Blaze. And the insta-lock on Jax makes a lot of sense. It's one of the best lanes to fight against Shen because he'll win those duels outright. It's a good couple of teams here.
So what are we thinking here, Freak? Who's your money on for this one? We're in Vegas after all.
I gotta say M5 because we've seen them be so convincing. I think their team comp is ridiculously good. On the flip, I guess I already said M5, so you know I'll just say it. I'll say M5 is my guess here. Apparently, I've jinxed it every time I've ever tweeted about who's winning in the game, but if I stay away from Twitter, maybe it won't be my curse this time.
No tweeting. I obviously then have to go for Azubu because I would like to see a best of 3 going all the way to 3 games here.
I would too.
On stage. Whether they'll be able to pull that one out, they actually do a bit of a team huddle, Azubu, before their games. They did that here before game number 2 as well, and hopefully the spirit that brings into the team setup as well will help them out. I mean, they've got a pretty damn strong team there as well. I mean, looking towards the late game, you've got Oriana, you've got Jax, who bring the pain at that kind of level.
Oh, sure, and this is actually a very good team from Azubu as well. You've got a lot of champions who can really assist the front line, and Captain Jack on Corki, I think he had an okay performance last game. I mean, obviously they lost, but he did as well as he could.
Yeah.
Corki's pretty safe. He's long range. He can play the poke, and he can Valkyrie backwards. But you've got Olaf and Jax in the front line, and both Orianna and Lulu together can support them. You know, land their crowd controls from them as focal points. This is like bruisers diving in, being supported, incredibly strong, and wreaking havoc on the enemy team. It can absolutely work for them.
So here we go then, Moscow 5 versus Azubu Blaze, lower bracket quarter-final, I guess we're technically at. I always get confused at the stages in the lower bracket when we get through it. But the winner will go through to play CLG Prime in the next round of the lower bracket. The loser, of course, will be going home.
And I don't think either of these teams want to do this. Once again, we're 1-0 in this best of 3. M5 BenQ, they won the first game. It was a rocky start, but a very convincing finish. They forced 2 bans here in game 2 against the Nunu and the Evelynn, and they've adapted. AP Master Yi from Alex Ish. It's been a crowd favorite this tournament. I like to see it.
Yeah, there have been, I think, a billion threads on Reddit about this AP Master Yi so far. And sadly for all of you that are playing solo queue, I'm sure you're going to be tortured by a Master Yi in the middle of every single game that you play as well. So apologies for that one. I'm sure we can all blame Alex Itch, but always interesting to watch that one. We've got a little bit of a pause at the start of the game, but we should be dropping into that in just a little second. Yep, that's going to be resumed. And we can see that 64 to 36% currently of the vote in favor of Moscow 5 to 2-0 Azubu in this one.
Well, it's absolutely a possibility. It's a prediction that I made that it just looks like they're in really great form right now, and they're putting out a lot of pressure. Their ganks and again, their play style is champion killing. I remember, I think it's a quote from Xenon when he talked to them a long time ago, and he said that their interpretation of their game style was see hero, kill hero. Like if they see something, they'll just bring it down and just kill it off, and they get a lot of map control. Of course, you kill off champions, and you've got more numbers. And the reason I even bring that up is because it's a different style from how Azubu does it. Azubu picks down turrets. They set up for team fights. They try to get global gold. With M5, they actually focus much more on ganks and killing off champions and counter jungling. It's these singular, individual focused sort of gains, and it's worked for them so far. And honestly, I mean, this is again another time they've picked a reset-based champion. They've got Alex Ish, where as long as his ultimate is on, an assist is going to give him half the cooldowns, and an actual kill will fully refresh everything, and he's going to snowball through those fights if they do well. But if they get stopped early, they don't have any way to get back into this.
Well, Azubu here already on the push in towards that bottom side of the Moscow 5 jungle. Diamond Prox on his favorite champion here, Lee Sin. We'll have to watch out there. Ward put down early on as well, and also cleverly on the top side, which will have mean that they see Shen coming down, or in fact stood right on top of the ward there. So they've got Shen's position on lockdown. They know what's happening on the bottom side there by the race. Genja and Gosu Pepper looking like they're going to be starting by golems, but I don't think, at least from what we see now, that Azubu will be going aggressive in the Moscow 5 jungle.
No, they've backed too far. This is the same thing they did in the very first game, which was put that ward down at the Wraith brush and try to spot out what the opposing team is doing. They're going to have Alex and Diamond work together and break down this Wraith, this early Wraith camp. But clearly Azubu is just going to sit on their side of the jungle themselves. They've pinged out, they know where everyone is, and that vision is useful, but it's a pretty standard start on both these sides. Diamond's going to grab Lizard, and they're going to give Blue over to Helios.
And he's going to have the help here from Flame for that one. And Shen actually going a little bit cheekily there into the top side of the Azubu jungle. Going to get caught out here a little bit by Captain Jack, and this could be enough damage to force Darien completely away from this top lane, and he is in fact going to have to go home. It's 2 versus 1 lane, so not as disastrous as if it was like in a 1v1 situation in the top.
Yeah, he's going to be in pretty much the same situation. He'll miss out on a potential minion kill or two, but you realize that until you're near your turret, Lustboy and Captain Jack will easily harass you down. Last hitting with Vorpal Strike is going to be difficult for him. So you're right. Again, I'm kind of reiterating you, but that getting forced back was not as painful as it could have been. All right, Helios, though. Ooh, he was looking for that top lane. He might have wanted to grab an early push on a Darien. That will not be the case here, though. Alex and Ambition squaring off in the mid lane. That's going to be pretty close here as well. And, it's difficult because Orianna's normally very good at punishing melee champions. She's got really good damage there and can easily, poke people out.
So we're going to jump back into the game there, just getting the game sounds all fixed and ready at the start of this one. Let's see quickly over how this is going at the start. You see the AD carries bang even, the junglers bang even. Middle lane, Orianna got that slight advantage, which you probably expect, and Jackson Shen not being able to get a single minion kill up till now, which will change. However, we may just see some action coming in, as we do have Diamond Prox waiting up at that top side, and Lee Sin at this kind of level going to be very, very strong if he manages to land his Q.
And that's not going to be the case, unfortunately. Well, we'll see, actually. You know, Lee Sin was waiting around. Helios still looping around the side as well. No ganks quite happening here. Helios, though, by getting the vision, they actually had warded out the Tri-Brush with a pink ward for two reasons. One, it actually spotted that Diamond was there and waiting for the counter gank. And two, if they ever ward that Tri-Brush themselves, they won't, you know, they can clear it out and then they'll be able to know. So Helios just simply stole away as much of the jungle as he could, and now they're going to square off again.
Yep, Diamond just spotting Helios going through. He's going to try and come in behind Ambition there. He's going to land the Q as well. Can they get in to finish off, though? Alexic has got to get involved, and in the end, they back away from it with that red buff on for Diamond as well. Could have been very dangerous. However, Ambition had that flash available. He chose wisely as well, in my opinion, not to use it, to keep that for future need.
Yeah, it was a really wise choice. They didn't have enough damage to pick off any kills here. Everyone is able to back off pretty much securely. You're seeing, though, Azubu, just like the first game, pushing very aggressively at this top lane. That top turret down to half health. Helios coming by. He knows there's no ward spotting him here. He's completely in the fog of war. They'll push to this turret, and then they're going to dive.
Yeah, and this is something we've seen done by so many teams so far this event. Let's see how Darian can hold it. He's got no one anywhere near him to really offer that support, and now he realizes that he's going to be in trouble. Will get polymorphed and taken down, and there is first blood going over to Azubu Blaze and to their jungler Helios on Olaf.
And I like how aggressive that move was. You saw Lustboy actually flash Whimsy to deny a Shadow Dash flash away, because they knew they don't have great chase potential. Once he gets far enough out, no one can catch up. So they said, you know what, we'll do all the damage during the 2 seconds here that we have. Said flash Whimsy, Olaf ghosted in, and they said, you know what, that's fine. We'll burn the summoners, getting the kills worth it. They got the turret as well, 5.5 minutes, a very good early lead for Blaze.
And the ironic thing is, it's going to happen all over again on the other side. Actually, Diamond just backing away from this one. Surprised that they've not tried to level this up by going for exactly the same move in there, but alas, that is not the plan for them. Let's have a look at the CS in middle. Alex actually just getting himself that advantage now, up by around about 7 CS. And this bottom lane is now being forced onto the tower, and it looks like Flame is having a bit of a sniff of this one. Probably realize it's going to happen as Diamond going to come in from the side. There's a leap strike away, and you've got to time that kind of push perfectly when there are no minion waves there, because otherwise Jax has got the easy escape.
Yeah, that's a really, really good move here. He's actually going to jump in. The stun comes off. The rest of the team is coming down to the bottom lane. Orianna from the mid, and of course the Lulu Corki lane swap coming on the back as well. All 5 members of Azubu Blaze are actually down here. Last time we saw them go for a dragon off of this, they could do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, why not? They've got pretty much the entire team there. Orianna can come down from this middle lane as well, but it looks like Azubu may want to try and put some pressure down onto this turret while they've got those numbers there. Diamond actually waiting in the wings down by the golem, but you can see that Azubu are backing off, and they are going to start off the dragon.
And this is going to be a bit of a gambit, honestly, because while they are going to get the global gold from the dragon, it's going to help them overall. They've left Darian now to solo farm. He's got 28 minions compared to Flame's 6. That's a very, very big deal. You're going to see 1,000 gold spike from the dragon, and that's worth it overall. It's still like a good move from Azubu Blaze, but just realize that all that early pressure they got down into Darian, that's mostly going to go away here.
Yeah, he's been left completely alone. He's up to level 5 now. Flame also level 5, but there we can see the goal 1,580 to the 1,370, so that instantly puts this Jax behind. He should be able to catch quite a lot of, though, obviously, once he gets into this top lane. And especially if Darian misses CS, that's easy for him like that. But he is going to do some damage to the turret, sees Flame coming in, and he doesn't want to stand and bang with the Jax, that's for sure. In the meantime, Alexic headed down in towards this bottom bush. Tri-bush is warded, and that should mean that they stay safe from this one, unless they overextend and go a little bit silly.
No, that shouldn't be the case. These guys are very, very refined. They're very smart players. No one's been overextending really at all. At least in these games, they're playing pretty excellently. M5 actually, all of them down to the bottom, 6, 6, and 5. They're going to recall back, and they just didn't get any real pressure on that turret, unfortunately.
Yeah, not able to get in there. Diamond actually was just covering the middle for Alexic there as well, and that will give him a nice bit of experience. Good amount of creeps as well, so I'm guessing he's going to be headed home maybe after doing that red buff. That is actually up. Looking at the wards, actually really strong so far from Azubu Blaze on the bottom side of the jungle. They've got the one outside the dragon, one in the tri-bush, one on the top ramp there by the wraiths as well. So they've got a nice vision of every exit possible from that jungle of Moscow 5, which means they should be staying pretty safe in this bottom lane, and maybe even in that middle lane, unless something comes out of the top side. The blue buff is now available as well, and as I say that, we see that Azubu Blaze actually ping it, and I wonder if they're going to be trying to challenge for it.
Looks like they're not really anywhere nearby, actually. It's just kind of, Ghost Pepper kind of walking back and forth. No one's really stopping for anything. The actual aggression here is much, much less than before. After Azubu killed off that top lane turret, they swapped their AD carry and support back to bottom, and M5 was like, all right, that's fine. We'll just square off against you 2v2. M5's really not making any moves at all really in this game, at least none that are working. And I feel like Azubu will just kind of slowly crawl upward and upward throughout this game unless M5 tries to make something special happen.
We see Alex now with that blue buff. Orianna with the same as well, though. And he's actually fell behind now with by 10 CS, so you can see how quickly that middle lane CS is swinging between Alexic and Ambition. In terms of items there, double Tauren's ring for Alex and the chalice being finished off by Ambition. Top lane, cloth armor and still those tier 1 boots for Shen, so I guess he's got plenty of gold to be headed home in the next few moments.
Alex gonna get, oh, he flashed it. That was a very dangerous situation.
Yeah, flashing away from the shockwave, and that could have been the end of him with that Olaf sniffing around as well. Actually, Diamond Prox is waiting in that top tri-bush. I think they wanted to try and get him with Jax, but wisely enough, we see Flame not pushing that lane too far out.
Now, it's a really good idea in general because he's still, he doesn't want to be there. He knows he can get jumped on. He knows he's a little bit underpowered because he didn't get many minion kills. You compare him to Shen, and he's down 3,000 gold. But here's Azubu, just like Azubu does. They're just pushing people into the mid lane to push down turrets. Just dealing damage to that structure is all they want.
That was the Ezreal ultimate, actually. Are we seeing some action down at the bottom? Yes, Genja actually will put some back there, and Captain Jack decides not to go in for that 1 versus 1. So let's move back to middle and see exactly how Moscow 5 are going to hold on to this turret. As that minion wave does go down, Alexic will go in there, but as you can see, it's not much they can really do against an Olaf and a Jax in particular, just hammering away. You've got the command protect, the shield from Lulu as well. That's a lot of damage that you can tank right there.
It's a really good setup here from Azubu Blaze. Whenever they push that lane down, they immediately swap that top lane over. They bring the jungler in. They bring up the support, and they're like, great, well, 1v1 bottom lane, the rest of us will push mid. And M5 had to react with everyone there, and they weren't able to do it. They had Shen farming the top lane. No one was there to make anything happen. And now you've seen the second turret kill, and they're posturing for the bottom lane now next.
Ghost Pepper actually trying to bait him out here. He did see them come through that tri-bush, as Diamond will get through as well. Does have the Oracle, and there's a nice 50 gold for him there as well.
50, yeah, wow, nice. 2 turrets down, or sorry, turrets. 2 wards down, double kill there. Nice bit of gold picked up.
Double kill.
Double kill. Hey man, by that, oh, that's a third one. I actually watched him get a third one right above the dragon. So Diamond now on 3 ward kills. If you count them as champion kills, M5's winning.
Well, I suppose you're right.
If I make up things, I can make it look like the other team's winning.
Yeah.
Based on the number of 5s in their screen names, M5 is ahead by a lot.
By 5.
They are. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
It was Singed the whole time.
We got this one.
All right.
So, top lane, Darian and Flame here having a bit of a face-bashing competition. Flame actually lower there than Darian, but Jax with the passive off his ultimate, that third hit, obviously, every time coming in can be pretty devastating. And also trying to bait out somewhat by the looks of it for Helios to get in around the back. There's the Ignite going down, and this is going to be bad. Flame going pretty low. Darian actually going to taunt himself away. Will he turn around and go back towards Flame? No, he's going to flash away towards the tri-bush, and he will stay safe. Actually, may even do a loop around and go back to lane.
That's so risky if he does. I mean, I guess the Ghost is down. Actually, Flame's pretty much so there's not actually a good way for them to stop Darian. But, he's just going to recall. All right, fair enough. He could have stayed around, I suppose. Genji and Ghost Pepper squaring back off at the bottom lane. Actually, oh, here comes, yeah, Ambition was looking for a gank at the top lane. Didn't manage to find it because, of course, Darien did run back. But this is Azubu Blaze once again. They're grouping up just to push down turrets. This gameplay, this time around, is working so much better. None of the roam moves, none of the kills are happening for M5. So just pushing turrets ceaselessly is working very, very, very well for Azubu Blaze.
However, Moscow 5 trying to push the fact that there are 3 in the top lane by going for a dragon here. They do have Diamond there. He does have Smite available, so they should be able to finish that one off without too much of a problem. Yeah, and see those 3 getting around in time. There is the Smite, and Dragon picked up by Moscow 5. So, you know, even with these turrets going down, the kills are still very even. Obviously, Blaze with only that first blood kill with the 2 towers. But it's 1,600 gold now. It's not a huge amount.
Now, they have closed it off quite well. They're making all these moves because, again, M5 is like focused on the jungle, it seems. And instead of counter pushing or doing anything like that or shoving mid or grouping up somewhere else, they found the dragon and said, yes, we can take this one down. They got the timer. The oracles, Diamond's been spending so much of his time in the bottom half of the map that he had swept all the vision there. And they got it. I mean, Azubu might have spidey sensed it and realized that, hey, they probably found something there. But realistically, it was still done blind. And you can't run into that with just 2 people into a potential 4-man dragon attempt.
You see now blue buff is up as well for Moscow 5. No chance of a steal here. And Alex should be having this one away for that middle lane. Let's have a look down the CS. This top lane is where that biggest difference is at. Approaching double the CS, actually. It's a big, big difference currently. In favor of Moscow 5, in favor of Darien on Shen. In the middle lane, 142 to 140, pretty much bang even. Same thing with the AD carries, 112 to 113. Even looking at the items there, they're pretty close. As Alex now going in on towards Flame, will get stunned up by the counter-strike, but to be honest, it's not that long of a stun there, and Flame is forced to flash away. In the meantime, Azubu, though, doing what they do best, and that's taking turrets down in the bottom.
There's a 3rd one going down. Azubu constantly there for the push. Helios has shown up as well, so it's a 4-on-3 suddenly. Master Yi, he's actually going to stay in mid right now, so he's not there to support this. Actually, Ambition's going to turn back around, so never mind that push. It's going to stop because just Blaze didn't really want it. Alex pushing very well in the mid lane. You'll see an Alpha Strike, I think, come out in a second. There it is. Sweeps out that. He's going to move on back.
Yep, now Darien continuing to farm in this top lane. Up to over 100 creeps now, 107 to the 65 of Jax. There's the gold, 4,000 to 3,600, and that just shows you the beauty of, whilst Flame way behind in the farm, they've got the towers, and that's helping him out a tremendous amount.
Yeah, exactly, and the thing is, I actually wanted to point it out earlier on because at the very beginning, after the first turret went down, the giant 30 minion kill lead kept Darien up in gold, and then you've seen him kill minions, kill minions, kill minions, keep going up in gold, but you keep seeing turrets fall down, and the difference has pretty much not changed. It's been plus or minus 300 the entire time throughout that, even though the lane is getting sort of worse and worse as time goes on. So, a real credit to Azubu for keeping kind of their undermanned lanes still in a really good place. You can compare the supports, and that's where you really see the difference here, because you've got Lustboy at 3,200 and only 2,700 here for Gosu Pepper. So that is a very big difference. You'll see them get gold generation earlier and finish their major big-ticket items sooner as well.
Alex Hitch there just doing some good damage to this middle tower. Actually got himself that needlessly large rod on the last time he went home. There's a giant spell picked up on the other side for Olaf, so he's nice and tanky up till now. Phage also finished with Jax. Over for Shen, he's picked up that giant spell, head up towards the Sunfire Cape. Lee Sin also headed in towards his Wriggle's Lantern. For the AD carries, both of them actually got Phage and Sheen. Vamp Scepter, Doran's Blade for Corki, and a double Doran's Blade for Ezreal. Also still on his tier 1 boots compared to those Berserker Greaves over for Corki.
Okay, and we're just seeing, though, that Azubu, they've got a lot of good completions done, of course, with the global gold so high. They're able to complete mid-tier items sooner, and that's huge, right? You're seeing Alex Ish, he's just got the component. He doesn't have an actual completed death cap yet, so his power level is so far under 9,000 that he's not able to do almost anything against Orianna or the enemy team. When he completes it, it might become a 4-digit number. In the meantime, Azubu, I think it's really, for them, I think the right thing to do is to keep putting this pressure on, and they deny a little bit of farm by doing this because it's not easy for M5 to farm all the lanes that they're getting pushed all the time.
Diamond forced to use a ward there to W out to. Let's see if Moscow 5 tried to push anything up here. Rabadon's death cap finished on Alex Ich. Let's see if they're going in. I mean, he's chasing. He's got the elixir in there, which tells me that they really want to be getting some work done in these next few minutes or so.
Yeah, they want to spike forward to get some punishment going. Check the Dragon timer real quick. Looks like it's going to be 19:15, so that's actually pretty soon. That will overlap with the blue buff, or not with the blue buff, sorry, but the blue elixir. That might be really important for him.
Warmog's actually finished for Shen. Thought he might be going some 5k, but Warmog's it is for him.
He's been stacking health and just being as big of a tank as possible. The rest of this lineup is going to be fairly squishy overall. It'll take some time for Diamond to catch up in levels in gold. Just in general, junglers aren't nearly as farmed as top laners are going to be. And so Darien, they're really relying on him for flash shadow dashes. He's going to start the fights off. They need Ghost Pepper to follow up with Crescendo, but what they just need the most is for Darien to be the fearless initiator. He's going just pure tank so that he can start any fight he wants, because if they get anything in their favor, Alex gets the reset, someone's dead, their damage is still all there because of that Alpha Strike kill, and they can keep on moving forward. So if they can catch anything out and fearlessly go in, that's exactly what M5 needs.
And such a low-scoring game, considering we've seen 3 turrets go down right now. Azubu Blaze working about everything so methodically, getting into the positions that they need to be, getting the job done, and getting out of there without really playing any sort of risk into it. So we hit 19:15. There is the Dragon. And Moscow 5 going to head their way around. Helios clearing the wards out as he goes. Diamond should run over one and take that out as well. Just to reduce that vision that little bit more. Captain Jack there in the middle. Shen obviously not in the fight, but at the end of the day he's Shen, so he can join the fight whenever he wants to. Helios now may get caught in the middle of the team. Diamond Proc's taking quite a lot of damage there, and Moscow 5 still not feeling confident.
They're going to try to pull in Darien. You can see him running down right now. They don't want to burn the ult if they don't have to. And just simply start a 5-on-5 on proper terms. You can see, though, that M5 is getting completely split up here. Diamond's on one side, Shen's on the other. You've got Genja off on the left-hand side as well. This 2 and 3 split is not great because Azubu can start a fight at the blink of an eye.
Well, here we go. Shockwave coming in. Gosu Pepper going to get caught. He actually got the crescendo off before he went down. There's the Ezreal ultimate as well. Where's the damage coming from as I die halfway through the fight? Genja going low. They're going to force him in. It's the Lulu ultimate on Flame that's causing so many problems. There is the kill, the double kill, in fact, coming out for Jax. Now Darien may have some trouble of his own. He actually flashes away. Counter-Strike going to stun him up. The entire team of Azubu Blaze is hammering away on him, and he may have a load of health, but it's only a matter of time. And that will be a 4-for-0. What a fight for Azubu Blaze.
And that's a perfect battle there. And you can see everyone on Blaze's health bar is at like a third or less. They're also all out of mana for what that one's worth. And that's just, you know, you saw the initiation. Ghost Pepper got a very good crescendo. They got Alpha Strike going down. They got the Shadow Dash in there, and Ezreal as well. Genja got a good True Shot barrage. So everyone there on Azubu was down to half health at the very beginning, the very start of that. But then, where's the damage come from? Alex is only burst-based. Darien, he's only a tank. Diamond does not have any real items yet. It's just Genja, and Genja died toward the beginning of that fight. After Gozu Pepper, the dive buddies of Flame and Helios, they went for him next, and he had nowhere to go. He got chased out, he got killed down, and there's nothing else that's going to break those health bars any lower. They need to get that reset. That's where all the damage output comes from, is that very first kill. Because Alex Isha's Alpha Strike, it deals a whole heck of a lot of damage, 579. And you need that 579 to happen more than once, or they can't win a fight.
Yep, and there's the blue buff going over to Alex Ich. If you look at the items there after that fight being completed, I mean, Jack's 3-0-0. That's allowed him to finish off Trinity Force. So we talked about his position at the start, that Darien had great farm. Jack's slow to get into it, slow to get that CS on board. But those kills have helped him out, along with everything else that Azubu Blaze have picked up in the early stage of the game, and he's now on that Trinity Force, which is, you know, a great place for any Jax to be in, and he's only going to be getting stronger with that. The Warmogs is finished here on Olaf as well, along with that Philostone and the Heart of Gold, so strong from that side of things. Athene's Unholy Grail finished on Orianna, as well as a Blasting Wand, and that Negatron cloak in there as well, and Corki also finishing off that Trinity Force. So great position overall for the Koreans.
This is a really smart build actually for Ambition to pick up an Abyssal Scepter here. He doesn't need the magic resist shred aura that much necessarily, but what he really needs is the defensive stats to make sure he is not one of the victims of Alex Isha's resets. He needs to make sure his MR is high enough and the shields are on the right targets such that he's able to survive those sort of encounters, because that's all this team needs. Azubu just needs to be tanky enough. They don't need to be super durable. I mean, you can see the turrets just falling down over and over. This team is very good at getting into these fights. But if they're tanky enough, this game, it revolves right now around what can Master Yi do. If he does nothing, Azubu's team is so much better.
And we saw that Jack's just totally ignoring Lee Sin and just hammering away on the turret. It's like, well, you can't really do that much that you're going to be scaring me away from anything. There's the Abyssal Scepter finally finished for Orianna. And you see Kindle Gem as well, just being picked up by the support. So working up towards those Shurellias to get the engagements off. And also Negatron Cloak being picked up there by Darian as well. Now that extra magic resist is going to be only good for him. But Moscow 5 in a bit of a tricky position there. 4-0 down in turrets, 5-0 in kills. It's approaching that 10,000 gold kind of area. And to be honest, Azubu Blaze, they're not doing anything risky whatsoever. They're just playing a very standard turret-taking game, and it's working out totally in their favor.
The one thing that M5 has on their side, though, is Genja's, well, I mean, Genja's kind of far from Trinity Force. He's about 400 gold away. But once he gets it, and actually he and Alex East together will be pretty good at clearing out minion waves, and they can have Darian constantly split pushing. Azubu Blaze doesn't have the best answer to that, because even their best duelist, Flame, he doesn't have teleport. And so if he goes to stop Darian and Darian can escape him, they can make a 5-on-4 happen. That said, Darian is getting chased out by Corki, and Captain Jackie might be losing interest. No, they're going to keep going. Never mind.
Yeah, Darian's, I think, no man's land, I think is the right way to describe this one. And he's, he's built tanky, so good luck trying to suicide through the turrets. That's going to take a while as well. They're going to catch up here. Captain Jack will land that shot, and Darian going to go for his ultimate. Can they get that stun down? Yes, they can. Not getting out of this one, Darian. He's tried his best, but that's his ulti burnt as well.
That's a really rough situation. The thing is, he actually could have done that about a second earlier. As soon as he saw Whimsy was used on Captain Jack, he was actually out of range of Olaf there, and he could have gotten himself to immediately ult from the brush there. He took a little bit too long, unfortunately, but it was a nice try. And that's really a great opening here for Azubu Blaze. They've got 20 seconds here without Darian, and they're so tanky, they've got those shields. They can happily muscle down this turret here.
Yeah, we can see Helios going in there. There's the ultimate coming across from Genja, who's almost out of position there, using the arcane shift to make sure that he doesn't get locked onto. And Azubu again clearing out that wave. As you said, the command protect shield coming out from Lulu as well is probably enough for someone like Olaf with that Heart of Gold and Warmogs in there to get straight onto that turret and just take it down. In fact, Flame is going to jump in there with Counter-Strike on. Wow, that is a big chunk of damage onto Alex Ich, who has to pop his ultimate and run away. Genja off to the side, not able to really do anything either. And Azubu are going to take out that inner turret. That's the first inner turret. No, I tell a lie, they're taking the top inner turret as well. So just get in there slowly but surely. Azubu Blaze playing a very methodical game.
And I want to point out that Flame picked up an Executioner's Calling as his second major, his second major item here, because one of the things that's going to be most troubling for them against Alex Ich, if he does well, and he is the MVP for M5 right here, is that Meditate's going to heal him for so much. If he full channels it, it's 2,230 health. He's going to cut that in half to 1,100. It's much more manageable. It takes 5 seconds to get that health back. That's a much more, appreciable sort of number where they can actually burn him down in a fight. And so he picks it up as the adaptation. He's rich. He's got the money to do it in case Ignite's down, because they only have 2 on the team. They want to make sure they can shut down Alex Ich's healing.
And we see their Flame just taking damage, and it's instantly double shield, which stops pretty much everything that M5 can throw at them right now. And Azubu going to go in. Dragon is available, which is the natural choice. Extend that gold lead even further. Currently 40 to 31.5, let's call it. It's slowly but surely just falling away from Moscow 5.
It's really rough. Again, they still need to get to the point where Alex can break people down. He's going towards Zhonya's Hourglass now. His ability power is steadily rising, and that's the one good thing that will help M5 is his damage will, generally speaking, outpace the durability gained by Azubu Blaze. You see that none of them are building any magic resist, sorry, most of them are not really building magic resist or health right now. You've got Olaf and Orianna, who are the only two who are really going to tank that very easily. Darian's going to get jumped on, but he's a tank. That's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, there was a stun going off. There's a shockwave. Not very good, but there goes a crescendo as well. Ambition falling low. Lulu ultimate comes in. Lust Point dropping quite low as well, but they've still got this Jax right in the middle. Olaf is coming in there as well, and currently only one man down. That's Gosu Pepper. Alex Ich now getting caught out. He is going to go down, and Moscow 5 being picked apart here. Genja will try to get away. Leap strike in, flash out from Genja. And that should be enough for them right now. I mean, that is a 2 for nothing. Yes, Ambition went low, but low is not a kill at the end of the day, and that maintains the perfect record for Blaze. 8 for 0. They've got minions pushing on this top wave. All 3 inner turrets are now down. Only the base left for Moscow 5.
And the MVP of that fight was Ambition's Abyssal Scepter and Lust Boy's Wild Growth. He had enough magic resist to tank most of the Alpha Strike damage, even though he got crescendoed and everything else. And Lust Boy got the Wild Growth down that gave him enough health to survive the encounter as well. With those combined, there were no resets for Alex Ich. Again, just over and over, 1 kill is all he needs. He would have gotten so much more damage onto that team. If Ambition fell, they would have gotten another one, and another one, and another one, and the team would have eviscerated. It's kind of like the more AoE version of Katarina. We saw it in the first one. M5 made no mistakes, Ambition's Katarina did nothing. This time, M5 BenQ is going for the reset strategy with Master Yi, and they're not quite getting it. The team is just a little bit too tanky. He's not quite getting the damage, and there's no mistakes really being made here. If they can get the 1 kill, they can turn it on, but it's so hard for them to get that 1 kill.
I don't think necessarily M5 have made any mistakes either. That's the way that this one's gone. So standard victory, I almost want to call it, from Azubu Blaze. So solid that they're not really making those mistakes as Captain Jack takes a good chunk from that Alpha Strike. In the meantime, Flame just pushing this bottom lane down. May well see Azubu Blaze go down there to join. Let's have a look at the items and how they have developed out now. Rabadon's Death Cap, of course, finished for Master Yi. As Freak mentioned, he's on his Hourglass on its way as well. And to be honest, that's about all that's changed. There's an Aegis in there that was finished, the Zeke's Herald as well. But you've got that on the other side, the Zeke's with Lulu. And then you've also got Orianna, who, on top of that Abyssal Scepter, now has that needlessly large rod for the extra damage. And Corki, who's well on his way to an Infinity Edge.
And that's the one thing to point out the most, really, because they're the 2 similar builds here on this map, is you've got Ezreal for M5, it's Genja. He's got a Trinity Force. You look on the other side, it's Trinity Force and more than half of Infinity Edge. And that is a huge difference in power. You're going to see, I mean, even just right now, the plus 70 attack damage that he has is a very, very big deal. But you fast forward 2 minutes when IH is done, and it's like a ludicrous change in damage output, and nothing's going to be able to withstand that. Captain Jack is going to be very, very brutal in these fights. Meanwhile, you're seeing Flame, who's got about half of Guardian Angel as well. That's going to make it ludicrously hard to shut him down. We saw so often that Jax would have a bad lane and he couldn't get any items together early on. But this is what happens when you do actually get real items. Goes Pepper, oh my gosh, getting jumped on. He's going to fall down immediately, and they're going to keep going on for this fight.
Yeah, that crescendo did get it off before he died, but look at this, straight in onto the turret. Ezreal ultimate hardly touches Flame, and they're not going to get the inhibitor turret for this one, plus the inhibitor as well, and they may well just back out, head down towards this bottom lane and go for a similar thing. They've got a big chunk of minion wave coming in there as well. Actually will force itself naturally through, and here we go, Azubu back in onto this one, and Moscow 5 just can't afford to let these turrets keep falling without putting up a fight, because it's just going to be a game finished in that same scenario.
The problem is they can't go in on this one. They know they don't have enough damage to turn that fight into anything useful. They just need Genja to poke, try to wear someone down, hope someone gets a little bit too aggressive on a turret dive and becomes available, but they know they can't dive in with Alex Ich. He will go too all in if he tries to fight, and he'll just get picked off. M5 unfortunately has to relinquish half their base and then hope someone makes a mistake.
Well, I just don't see it from Azubu.
No, I don't either.
They've been so flawless. They have not made a single wrong footing, and they've not lost a kill. It's 49, let's call it 59, 50,000 now since it's 49.9, to 36.7, a huge gold difference, 14K goal difference from that one. And Baron actually started here, but Azubu gonna go back in there. It looks like they want to fight. Gosu Pepper gonna get caught out. He will die. Genja's in trouble. He will fall as well. Now Diamond gonna be the target, and you just don't get away from this Azubu team. Alex Ich there on the top side will go home. Darian, I'm guessing in the bottom, is also going to be teleporting home. Actually, no, he's just farming as you do in this position. And Azubu just going to try and go for the win straight through onto these Nexus turrets.
Yeah, Alex somehow needs another 1,000 ability power to turn this game around. They don't have much for this. This is going to be Azubu Blaze taking game 2, tying it back up 1-1, bringing us to a third game. The next game means elimination for these two stellar teams here. N5 BenQ now tying up with Azubu Blaze.
Well, job done. I think that's the right statement for that. Azubu coming in with a plan, executing that plan perfectly, didn't lose a single kill. They didn't die once.
Yeah, it's a really apt term there. Execution really is the double entendre that defines this game. Kill after kill, perfect play, nothing falling down, executing the N5 BenQ lineup, but at the same time, their game plan, we'll group up and push a turret, we'll group up and push a turret. Anytime N5 tried to stop them, they lost that battle. And they stayed ahead of the curve. I can't stress enough that both these games were defined by snowbally AP mids, and in neither case did the team let them snowball forward. And that is hugely important. You know, when you make no mistakes and no one gets caught out, you've got nowhere to go with that lineup.
And it's got to be demoralizing as well for Moscow 5, winning game number 1 convincingly by the end as well, coming into game number 2, and it almost looked like they weren't involved in it whatsoever, that whatever they did didn't really matter. Azubu Blaze had their plan, they stuck to it, and they went straight through to the end. So we are tied up at 1-1. We will be coming back very, very shortly for game number 3.